miscarriage of justice. Ref was on tape. There's nothing worse than a ref on the tape. Nothing. There's nothing worse than losing, than not being invited to be a guest on the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is that guy, Tommy.
Hello.
And we got Big Mike.
That lighter was shot in the middle of May about 3 months ago, and Megalodon Juan has still not been back on the Countdown City WrestleCast.
Gotta make that
The Texas treats are the worst.
You gotta love them when things just come together.
You know, I've said it before. We've had Marvel on, we've had Don Juan on, and we were ready to get both of them on together, and then COVID. But, you know, we're trying to work that out, at some point. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to spend some time today talking all about all the craziness that happened at SummerSlam, why it could arguably be the best pay-per-view WWE has done all year. And there's a lot of news to discuss, something that actually just broke.
No, Jason, none at all.
Right?
Yeah, no, not a thing.
Well, I guess we could start with that. Yeah. I mean, I just put it on the tweet announcing the show that was live, and there's a lot of news in the San Antonio area. Let's see if we can kind of break this timeline down. First of all, literally the day after we had our show last week, TNA made the announcement. Victory Road is coming to San Antonio September 13th, Friday the 13th, at the Esports. Oh, God, I forget the name of the Esports Arena. It's off of General, I think. I forget.
It's the Techport Center.
Techport Center. There we go. It's going to be there for Victory Road. The next day, they're going to have their Impact tapings.
Yep.
This news, which is awesome, by the way, from a local standpoint, it's been a long time since TNA's been here. But unfortunately, and personally, it's probably a smart move on BOW's part. They went ahead and canceled the show they had scheduled for September 14th at Woodlawn Gym. And quite frankly, I can see it. It's very difficult to compete with a national promotion coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of the fans he has a lot of us will try and get to Impact until you see that the service fees are more than the ticket prices. But yeah, come on, be better people.
For what it's worth, a $20 ticket to BOW is $20. A $20 ticket to a TNA show is apparently $103 to $5. So, whichever way.
That's a freaking pain in the ass. So, yeah. So, while I might, figure out a way to get to Victory Road, I don't know if I'll go to the Impact tapings, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But that.
How have me and you been to a Victory Road, not in San Antonio, and yet somehow it comes here? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not going if that's the fees. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not.
Yeah, the fees are ridiculous. I don't make any plans to go. It's cheap for me to watch it on TNA Plus. But it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, the last Victory Road I've been to, and I'm wearing an Astros shirt right now, was at the Reliance Arena, which is a tiny little arena that the Houston Comets used to play in Houston.
Yep.
And shout out Sean Hot Stuff Hernandez for the free tickets to that event at the time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that was a hell of an event. I think the World X Cup Finals were there. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Booker and Joe, right?
I think so. Yeah. So because there was a big, huge contingent of fans for Booker T there.
Yeah. Even though he was kind of the heel at the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they saw our 5150 Mafia, and that's where the main event Mafia idea kind of came from?
I'm pretty sure. We were wearing our shirts at a Victory Road.
Because I think you guys went to that show, and then next thing I know, main event Mafia was a thing like a month or so later.
Yeah, we went to that show. We hung out at the hotel because Hernandez called me. He was like, "Hey, this is where we're at. Come over." We were there at the hotel bar the night before and after the show as well, hanging out, taking pictures, meeting everybody. To this day, Abyss is one of the coolest people you will ever talk to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Hector Guerrero.
Hector Guerrero was there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, one of our friends who doesn't do stuff with us here, but he scared Christian by going up to him too
yeah.
enthusiastically.
After
He's like, "Oh, Christian, I'm a big fan." And Christian
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa."
First time I personally met Gil Kim, and yeah. So and
Not the last.
yes, met Samoa Joe, met a lot of people. Christopher Daniels, who at the time was Curry Man, but he was like, "Yeah, they just let me hang around. I don't know why I'm here." So it was kind of a funny thing. He kept kayfabe. So
That's hilarious.
but anyway, Victory Road's coming back to Texas. It's coming to San Antonio on the 13th of September. Impact tapings will be on the 14th, the very next day. As I mentioned, BOW decided to cancel their event that they had planned for the 14th in San Antonio. RCW is still running on the 15th, so they're kind of at basically the tail end of a triple shot weekend of wrestling in the city of San Antonio.
Right.
BOW, though, did announce that their last show of the year and potentially of the promotion is November 9th of this year. Tommy, are they doing something in October, or is this they're just going to hold on?
The shows are bi-monthly, and we were going to do one in September. Of course, that happened. So, depending on how November goes, this could be it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like a Facebook event made, and it said this is what I sent to y'all. It said what to expect. Final show of 2024, possibly ever. Book so far, they have Skylar Slice, Nathan Estrada, Steve Michaels, Chase Owens, JL, who is their women's champion, Morgan Mercy, Misty Marks. So Tommy, you have to get your Otami shirt before then. Crowley, and plenty more to be announced. So.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe you go with a few more big names to close it out. Who knows?
Maybe it was in the budget, right?
So yeah. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. I suspected something like this could happen, but
should I take my Bluetooth speaker just in case?
Oh, dude, don't remind me. You might have to, honestly. Jeez Louise, that was such a freaking mess. That could be part of the reason why all this is happening. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I really don't know any more than anyone else does at this point. Yeah. I really don't. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Look, it's hard enough running a promotion. Screw it. It's hard enough running a softball team. Let me tell you. So, and I can't imagine you're managing employees. You're trying to get people to come in, book them for shows, referees, getting attendance, advertising. There's a lot that goes into it. And I don't blame anybody for it. I mean, it's difficult. It's stressful, I'm sure. And I don't know if there's going to be, I hope it's not the end for BOW. It's been here for quite a long time, even from its original owners too. So, maybe it's just just hit a little mental reset towards the end of the year and see what you can come up with. There's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, promote the hell out of it, make it a big event, And some of the hiccups that happened the last show, I'd heard about it, wasn't there for them. It happens, it happens. Yeah. It's a learning experience for everybody, for sure. Now, that news came out, but one that literally probably just broke minutes before we went live here. August 17th, we know, is Mission Pro Wrestling's Midsummer Blast, which we are going to talk about next week on the WrestleCast. Yeah. But we just got news that this is the last show of 2024 for Mission Pro, which, for one, doubles as the 1-year anniversary of Izzy Moreno's debut match in the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will be her. Well, it's her second title defense now. She just defended it this past weekend. But surprisingly, this is the last show for Mission Pro for the year. We were expecting an October, expecting a December show.
Silver Bells, which is like my favorite show.
I don't know.
I don't
know what happened. I don't know if they lost the venue for those last 2 months. Somebody posed the question on the Facebook post. I think it was Burnsy. Yeah. And Brian just said canceled. So I don't know if it's an issue with the venue. I don't know who knows? It could be any number of things. I really hope it's not. If it's an issue with the venue, there's a lot of places you can find in San Antonio that would love to host a show.
A chance it's monetarily related. That's always just like you said with BOW. That's always
if it's a contract thing as well. I mean, it sucks, honestly.
Yeah.
Now I'm just throwing this idea out there. Is there a potential that it gets rebranded in some way? Maybe it comes back, something different. I don't know. Just throwing shots out there. I think Mission Pro is doing well. I mean, it's promoted pretty well. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that for them to have to cancel the last 2 shows of the year after August 17th. Yeah. So who knows? That just broke. We don't know. Maybe hopefully we'll get some more details as we get into our talk about that event next week, which will be next week's episode, and see what happens going from there. So yeah. All right. Well,
hold on. Before we go on to the show, just to keep it connected to local news. If you're keeping up with NXT, Ren Sinclair had a match last night at the second week of
Great American Bash.
Beat her opponent, which got her into the No Quarter Catch Club. And they're finally letting her really, they're not really, but they're finally letting her show a little bit more personality. Her wrestling's always great. I think
the main character is on her way.
Yeah, that's the reason they put her into a Rumble type or a Battle Royal 2 months after being there.
Yep.
So but it's happy to see her on TV. Literally, I watch NXT until her segment, and then I turn off. Sometimes apparently there's more. So I realized later looking online that there was a backstage segment later, but doing as much as I can.
You're saying that NXT parking lot's the most dangerous place in all of pro wrestling.
It is.
It's turning into that for sure.
I mean, there have been more jumpings in there than all of Compton. Even every other week somebody getting jumped up early. Even Compton y'all need to calm it down.
NWA had to come out and say, "Whoa," not the rest of the organization.
Yeah. Dr. Dre was saying, "Hey, so do y'all have a hip hop group? Do you? Because that's the last thing we need is that much competition." They had Hit Row, and we all know how that ended.
At least one of them's doing well.
Yeah.
Other news out of TNA. God, you're over when you're not even signed to the company and you're going over clean on some wrestlers in your company. Of course, I'm talking about.
He's okay. Okay. I don't know if he's going to be at the tapings when they come to San Antonio.
I was actually thinking the same
thing. He's
on
NXT and he's I think I'm going to stay here a while. There may have been a private contract exchange or something.
Look, I'm curious. That is my one reason I would want to go to Victory Road is so that my son can see Joe Hendry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, because he loves him, wants to see him live, but he knows him from NXT, which is crazy. That's how over he is right now. And it is what it is. I mean, obviously, there's no ties to TNA. I don't know if his contract's coming up. Maybe they're buying it out. Maybe they share it. Who knows? So I don't know. Let's see how that happens. But it's pretty crazy how you're over in 2 companies. But I think one of the biggest things that happened in NXT last night, which I'm all for, is Wesley's heel turn.
That was surprising.
Surprising, but
also
sense.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was also pretty cool.
Yeah. It's you left me here alone going off, and I was I think this is what Wesley needed for sure.
Hey, what's up with all these justified heel turns? I mean, technically, Wentz was fired, so it wasn't that was control over. But what's with all these justified heel turns? Ever since Hangman Page had his, I was pretty much justified. Everyone's had a heel turn that's oh wait, I kind of get it. Drew McIntyre.
Well, hold on, because there's a quote unquote heel turn at SummerSlam that we've got to talk about the meme because it was a heel to more heel turn, basically.
And honestly, the heel turn that also happened later on in the night, I kind of get it. That's the worst part. It's what's all these?
That's a product of good writing and good
I was going to say, I
will
say.
Well, no, I know it's a product of good writing because I would have wrote it.
Okay. But I guess in all fairness too, it really wasn't. It shouldn't have been that hard to what they had done for so long of changing everything in the last second, no continuity, never made sense to just be hey, look, stories that make sense. And it's kind of crazy that we're oh my God, but it shouldn't have taken this long and it shouldn't be that hard. But
actually, I kind of said the same thing. I was like, everyone who talks about yeah, look at WWE's good booking now. I was now it shouldn't have taken this long. If WWE booking had always been this consistently good, I don't think I'm not entirely sure we'd have an AEW really. Because it's it's if it had always been like this, no one would ever have got bored watching it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Like it got so stale and boring, and then, I mean, not to get into it, but the stories of like segments that were literally just to make one man laugh, and
Yeah. And so, once again, I think the fans who hate AEW should kind of be grateful. It's like, hey, if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be trying this hard.
yeah, like you're never gonna get those people.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, Jason. I agree with that. So,
Yeah.
well, that's a good segue into SummerSlam. Let's recap. Let's talk about it. There's a lot to break down here. But starting with the opening match, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio. I said on this show, or I think we all said on this show, that there was going to be, whether it was accidentally or otherwise, Liv Morgan was going to win with help from Dominic Mysterio. Tommy, you're the only one that picked Rhea Ripley on that, by the I
know. I couldn't remember exactly what I picked anymore after the show was aired.
I expected it to be like maybe accidentally helping her out, and then later down the line you realize, that he was doing that intentionally, or there was the whole custody of Dom thing they might try. Who knows?
You just want that ladder match.
Yeah,
I do want that.
Actually, I'm with him. I did too.
Bring it full circle, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when Dom's there, when he grabbed the chair from Rhea, it made sense. He's telling her, you can't win the championship this way. Okay, so that made sense. That's not really a full thing, and the crowd's reacting.
Yeah.
But then you see him slide it in, and it's like, oh, here we go. So
here's the thing, though. Where it ends, it kind of doesn't make sense, other than for the dramatic turn. Because if he winds up with Liv, he should have let her hit her with the chair, because she wouldn't have won the title. She would have been disqualified, and Liv would have kept the title. I know, like, for the sense of the shocking turn, and but I was thinking that afterwards. It's just like, actually, if you're going to wind up with Liv in the end, let her get disqualified. But it made the overall.
And the way they told the story too was like Liv had no idea he was going to help her. That was the cool thing about it is,
and that's kind of what I was thinking, Mike. I think I agree with you, but I think like he just didn't want Liv to get her hit by a chair. My thinking was it was a practicality thing. He just didn't want his girlfriend getting hit by a chair.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it coming. Come on, dude. This guy turned on his own family. So.
Yeah, honestly, James. Yeah, I didn't think it would happen at SummerSlam, but I thought.
But
it was
I see where James is coming from.
That's true too.
Like no disrespect to Liv whatsoever. She's a beautiful young woman, but you've got Rhea Ripley who went after you, right? Like maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just got too cocky, like those those soccer players and those super athletes who just think they're the greatest thing ever. Like, he had Rhea come after him, and he still fumbled that and turned on her and betrayed her.
I know minority people saying, "Oh, Dom made the right choice." I was like me who loves goth chicks. No, he didn't. So...
Yeah, and the funny part is like all this stuff while Rhea was out with injury, all the segments between Liv and Dominic, all that stuff's posting on TikTok. All the comments like, yeah, I would have folded. Dom's gonna fold, and someone's like, I folded 3 weeks ago. Like all this stuff like that. I'll be watching them, and then here's my wife asking me, "Hey, would you have folded?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Because
what?
I mean,
Jason's comment.
What?
Cole.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
So, someone attributed to how much Jim Ross hated Triple H during the Austin era, and I could not agree more. It was so true.
Yeah,
I mean that would have been reasonable too, James. I think some people were looking at more like that.
I didn't. I thought it might have been like an accidental thing, but I knew Dom was going to involve the decision somehow, and it was going to help Liv win. But the fact that he did it, and when he had a smile on his face at the end of the match, I was like, okay, it was on purpose. But they show it real quick, and to the point where when he helps Liv up, she's like, "What's going on?" They kissed, and then it was done from there. It was like, wow.
So it was like a Dom heelier turn. You can't really call it a heel turn.
Yeah, you can't.
Because he was heel, so it was like a heelier turn.
So it was even
turned on
bigger.
His heel twice.
Yeah.
He did a 360.
Yeah.
He got booed worse in that stadium than Art Modell ever did. I'm just going to throw you out there right now. For sure. So, and that's a lot for Cleveland for sure. But let's see. Other results, I'll just quickly run through them here. Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn for the IC title.
More competitive, than I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to do a...
short, though.
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah, but I mean, it was. But Sammy got stuff in. Like I really thought it was going to be a Lesnar Cena type squash, but it wasn't. But then eventually he got the momentum.
It did look like it was going that way for a second, So yeah. LA Knight defeats Logan Paul.
Yes.
Who was with Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes. Finally.
Put that feather in Eminem's cap.
Do you really do you really need to make Logan Paul look douchier? Like it wasn't necessary. I mean, I guess it helped, but
just bring out Machine Gun Kelly. But in my head, I was like, yeah, you brought this guy to the ring, and then he loses, and Eminem's over there like, take the L, bro.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly is the one guy who lost the feud, admitted he lost, and then just said, "I'm gonna go do something else," and eventually came back.
Changed from rap to like.
Yeah.
It is the fits though. Some of those rock tracks weren't that bad. I gotta give him props.
Tommy, you're too nice to people. You need to stop.
I am. Well, I mean, unless they're Drake. I rubbed it in.
Nia Jax defeats Bailey. Sorry.
That one kind of stung. I'm not gonna lie.
My daughter was pissed.
Why?
Huh?
Like Tiffany is the end game of this story. Why Nia? Why this?
I don't know either. I really don't. I was
figure heat on both
of them,
I guess.
Confused.
So yeah. Oh.
Burnsy's right. That was fantastic. And then Ray's
Ray, and especially after some tweets that he sent out, which is probably why they took the title off of him. I don't think anybody's gonna really be.
Well, I don't know. I think LA Knight they were heading that direction anyway.
Yeah. I think we all picked LA Knight anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there was no way I wasn't picking LA Knight in that match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SummerSlam was a good spot to
also,
put it on.
by the way, a BOW alumni.
Oh yeah.
Oh, way back when.
Yeah.
Let's see. Drew McIntyre defeating CM Punk with Rollins as the special referee. First of all, love the homage to SummerSlam 97, the Taker, Bret Hart with Shawn Michaels as the referee look that they all had, which was pretty cool. Glad they coordinated that. For the match itself, it was kind of a twisted thing, whereas Drew McIntyre's obsession with one thing cost him the championship at WrestleMania. CM Punk's obsession with something cost him this match against Drew McIntyre.
Is this a dig at Izzy? Since when has CM Punk been so into friendship bracelets?
It has his dog's name on it, I guess. I don't know.
Does it have the soul? Is this like an anime or does it have the essence of his wife and his dog's soul? Like it's a friendship bracelet. It's not the wedding. I know.
Well done, Mike.
It's not his wedding band. It's not like something. It's a friendship. I don't know. I'm sure he explained it on a Raw I didn't watch one time, but it's
Yeah. But I mean, McIntyre had made sense for everything he was going through. But
no, for McIntyre, yeah. 100%.
Do I think it's over? No.
No.
So
although I do think it's sliding towards the Punk Rollins stuff.
And
I kind of feel like McIntyre will start heading toward the champion we got at the end of the night, or toward the end of the night.
Well, that's my wonder.
He's got to, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if there'll be a title on the line, but is there going to be something where all three of them are battling each other, like at a future pay-per-view or something like that? Like Royal Rumble, who knows? Yeah. Let's see. Gunther defeats Damian Priest, and as I said, it was going to be a bad night for the Judgment Day. I had a feeling Dom was going to help Liv, whether accidentally or otherwise, and then this was going to be the night I said where Finn turns on Damian Priest, and lo and behold, here we are, and kick Damian Priest out of the Judgment Day.
Who would have called like a Finn signature move is the betrayal? Like he's done it so well so many times during his WWE/NXT tenure. Like, I mean, when he was Prince Devitt and he was the Demon, who would have called like signature move? The what do you call it?
The backstab.
Oh, I was gonna say like, but the shotgun dropkick in the corner. Yeah, but can we replace it with the betrayal?
Yeah.
That perfect face where he just looks like.
I think one of the coolest things about the way this match went is, one, he puts Gunther's leg on the rope.
Yeah.
And then Damian Priest gets up and says, "Okay, he got his leg up, whatever."
Yeah.
But how smart they were to have the face look at the screen to see what happened, and then see what happened like that. Okay.
Yeah, because for a second, he didn't even notice it. So is he gonna have to screw him again to get his attention, and then and then you see me like, oh, all right.
Yeah, very well done. And by the way, I like the ref POV cam too. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
It's
different.
it's different. Sometimes a little weird.
I just want to see a POV when one of them gets like super kicked in the face on accident and just see how that shows up on camera. Yeah.
But what if the foot doesn't hit the face?
I,
Then you have to, like, cut.
Sell it. It's got to hit for real, right?
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, going through well deserved for sure. Really interested to see how his title run is going to be, especially since he went like what 2 years, almost 2 years with the
almost 2 years. Yeah.
IC2. Yeah. So
you know what? I feel like we may be in a similar boat, and we may have to admit when we're wrong. I know when Walter got changed to Gunther, I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I'm sure on here we said, you know what, he's gonna get buried. It's not gonna work out.
yeah,
And we were wrong. He's been one of the most well used wrestlers in the company. Like holding the NXT title for a long time, then coming up getting the IC title for 2 years and taking over Honky's reign.
Yeah.
I still hate the name change. That'll never not be a thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but at the same time, if we're gonna have to live with it, this is a pretty good career.
That's true. I mean, that's true. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm supposed to live with it. You know, I'm just saying I can still hate it though. It's still
no, I get you, but at least the flip side is we've got what they've done with him so far.
Yeah, that's true.
Sean, that's bold.
That's bold considering it's in his home country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, precedence has been, at least for Drew McIntyre, maybe they only hate the Scottish, but that means nothing.
I don't know if you want to do that in Germany.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
UK is one thing.
That's an interesting thing here. I mean, we'll get to that in the main event, I guess. Maybe we'll come back to that in a second. But
yeah.
Well, speaking of main events, Bloodline rules, Cody versus Solo Sikoa. We didn't get quite the Avengers Endgame that we got at WrestleMania, but we did get a return, almost an on your left moment with Roman Reigns.
What we got is if Thanos had showed up and like if Thanos shows up in the new movie and punches Doctor Doom. That's what we just got.
Yeah.
Okay, don't insult Doctor Doom by comparing him to Solo, please.
We got the return of Roman Reigns, and it was the perfect setup too. Everyone's like, this is getting to War Games, Bloodline Civil War. What are they going to do? But first of all, Jacob Fatu's injury, when I saw it, I was like, okay, did he really hurt himself? They showed the replay. I saw how he landed. And in my head, I was like, he's fine. He's selling it. He's just selling the injury, like his leg got hit or something like that. And then the return of Roman Reigns was... And even if Fatu was there when Roman came out, I think Roman would have taken him out. Yeah. And it would have showed that. So,
can I say something, though?
What's that?
What's the immediate thing we talked about? The Roman Reigns return. Is there any point to watching a Bloodline Cody match until the last 5 minutes of the match?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything that happened in the front part of the match? Do you remember moves like
I remember a Crossroads, but then that started where everybody started interfering.
Yeah, we talked about this with the Roman Bloodline up until Mania. There was becoming no point to watching matches because you were just waiting for the interference and how we were going to react to that.
Yeah.
And while everyone loves the moment, like I don't know how long you can keep just doing the match doesn't matter until we get to the part where people interfere and then the big thing happens.
Right.
Was it a good match? I honestly don't remember because
all we're going to talk about is the finish in this respect. Yeah. And
I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but that's how you expect a main event to go, right? Especially for a big event like this, you want to remember how it finished. Go ahead, Tommy.
I was going to say, but and as true as that is, I feel like So now I can confidently say it's no longer just a Roman Reigns thing. It's a whole bloodline thing. It's like pretty much any bloodline match has that. What Mike said, it doesn't get interesting to the last 5 minutes when everyone's going to run in. It's almost like an NWO thing. And Legacy, I don't quite agree because that pop is monster, so I'll give them that. But
you've got to also be careful because when he's as big as he is, you don't want to change
too much.
The thing everyone connects to him.
Yeah.
So. James, the match was okay. Yeah, I think it was. I don't really remember.
I don't mind.
I mean, I didn't expect a barn burner of a match, but everyone was waiting to see if Roman was going to return.
Okay,
So,
and that's where I'm different. I kind of did. I kind of thought that Solo would get to show out more, and I don't know.
He did just enough. He got what his stuff in there, So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted more, I guess. Maybe I'm expecting too much too soon. Maybe so.
Right. I mean, we'll see what happens on SmackDown too with all this too.
Yeah.
What the hell does
He's
OTC
supposed to
stand
be there,
for?
if I remember. Oh,
yeah. Roman's supposed to be there.
They said it on the after show.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Okay,
Original tribal chief.
Ah, okay.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. I forget which female or which reporter. It wasn't Kathy Kelly, but I don't. One of them was on the post panel with a few people, and she jumped right into that. It just stayed on, and I hadn't quite turned it off, and they were like, OTC. I assume that means original tribal chief. And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jason. Whenever something's bloodline rules, something's going to happen. You just kind of know when they make that announcement. So, what? I guess we'll go back to how we usually recap this. What match stood out to you guys the most? Which one or moment kind of spoke? Did you enjoy the most out of this event? So,
tell you which moment I didn't enjoy the most.
I know.
I don't think anybody actually.
Yeah.
I'll probably with Michael now. What I didn't enjoy the most.
We'll start positive first. Fine.
Yeah. I'll at least say that Liv versus Rhea was match of the night. I don't think anything else topped it the rest of the night, to be completely honest with you.
Again, the match or the story?
Everything. That just came together.
Okay.
They actually worked really well together. The whole dislocated shoulder thing. Now, I don't know if that's a new parlor trick she learned because her shoulder was this. I don't know if she really. I mean, you didn't know if it was really dislocated, but the way they told the story where she's angrily popping it back in place.
So
I mean,
as a person who has dislocated both shoulders multiple times, I legitimately cannot look at that injury without feeling a splash of pain. And especially in probably this shoulder more. But because believe it or not, the first time I dislocated this one, I did pop it back in myself. I had to slam it against the bathtub.
Oh.
And I laid on my parents' bathroom floor for 15 minutes, trying to breathe properly. But to know people can do that and keep going is maddening, but impressive.
Well, here's the thing. Back, was it 2 SummerSlams ago when Becky had her injury?
Yeah.
When they showed that picture, you saw that it was not set right.
Yeah.
And that was a legitimate one. It looked legitimate on Rhea, right? But
did.
also the ref didn't freak out, so that's why I was like, wait. But I was like, but like you said, how is this a work? How did you make your shoulder look? So
the only thing that told me it was a work is that the ref didn't do this,
right? Freak out about it.
Yeah.
So maybe because of the injury, because I've heard other people similar to Tommy, there's people who they've injured it and then it just pops out more regularly.
Yeah.
Maybe she is badass enough to be like, I'll take it for the match. I'll pop it back in. I'll make it look dramatic. But also, like Tommy said, he was then on the bathroom floor for 15 minutes. I've also heard even if you do pop it in, you're still in pain.
Oh yeah.
For a while, afterward, and she kind of could. I don't know. Kudos to them and to Rhea for however it worked, because either she's tough and she wrestled through it, or they somehow sold it and made it look legit in a way
or
we don't know.
She's double jointed in some way at her shoulder, right?
See that's the thing with mine is I am double jointed because that's how I can do this. I can put my arm, my elbow behind my head. So it's double jointed. But that's why I also have to be careful, because if I jerk it too fast, out this way, no, I'm not gonna do it, dude.
Yeah, just pop it out of place real quick and show us.
Okay,
I'll make it big.
I'll put it this way: if I pop it out of place now, I'm off the stream, legitimately off the stream.
Oh, it's
prove it.
But no, anyway, it's so I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see how the joint kind of moves. It's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be able to do that.
Can you make it look like Rhea did?
No. Well, you know what? I take it back. I probably could. I don't know how, and then make it look and make it go back to where it should. So if I tried to make it like Rhea did, Mike, I'm going to call you, give you my address, and tell you to come drive me to the ER because they need to go
I'm
put
sorry,
it
what?
back in play. Okay,
audio-
your or JC's phone is gonna ring, and one of you
JC was the one who said first.
I don't care. One of you MFers is gonna come over to this house and drive me to the emergency room because first of all, I can't drive like this, because first of all, I'll be in tears. I don't care.
I know, but
I'm
I'm trying to go viral. Shit, man. You know.
You know what? I hate you.
I'm just kidding.
Strong, dude.
No,
Ed, are you in the chat? No. Okay.
What it gave me flashbacks to was remember when Alexa Bliss wrestled Ronda Rousey and her arm was all
that's right.
That was like, oh,
but that was because she
yeah.
was also double jointed.
Nasties. But when the ref didn't react a certain way, when Liv was still trying to attack, I was like, okay, I knew it was part of the match, but it still looked nasty.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
So that story they told with the shoulder was amazing. With everything they were doing with that, even to the finish, it was told perfectly. It was almost one of those. We didn't know if Dom was gonna interfere accidentally or intentionally, but it was one of those. We knew something was gonna happen. It was like push it over the finish line, but still surprise us in a way, right? Sean says Logan losing. That's what he liked the most about SummerSlam.
That was fun.
Yeah. Jason says he didn't like Jelly Roll.
I kind of did.
I didn't really need the concert to start the show. I didn't I don't mind him backstage or whatever, and I didn't even mind wait, was that on Raw?
No, the chokeslam was on SummerSlam.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. The concert, I was like,
the concert. I mean, and that's cool. Like I know there are like a lot of people. It's not that I hate his music per se. I don't know. I've never been big on concerts during. Wrestling shows. They've done it at WrestleMania a few times.
Maybe before the show or on the pre-show or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, the 3-hour pre-show that apparently had no matches. You probably could have done it during.
Were there really no matches on that pre-show? Oh my God, there weren't.
I'm pretty sure there weren't.
Oh my God, there weren't.
I think they almost cut to the Olympics because it was also on Peacock.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
R-Truth and like a couple people commenting on the Olympics. I'm totally down for it.
Now yes.
Look, okay, that's a real one for you, Tommy. Check this out.
Yeah.
I will drive from Buda to your house to pick you up.
Bernsey is a real one. Thank you, Bernsey.
You'll be in pain for about an hour and a half until he gets there, but he's a real one for you.
Well, let me tell you, the pain of a dislocated shoulder, the time will just fly by. Let me tell you. It's like, it's been an hour and a half. Hey, Bernsey. Oh, I could have swore I was on the screen for 15 minutes. That's why I'm hoarse. Okay, that explains a lot of things, actually.
Yeah. Besides the opening match, or any other match like stand out to you guys as something like a highlight of the evening?
I mean, Sean already said it, but LA Knight finally winning a belt and beating Logan Paul for was just icing on the cake for me because.
Well, it was Jake Paul according to R-Truth, but
both of them suck, so who cares? And honestly, I gotta give Gunther. Gunther deserves a big win. I mean, all jokes aside about the name and everything, I've been following this guy's career since probably PWG, maybe a little bit beforehand. And to see him become a world champion in a major company, all props to him. He earned it. He deserves it. Someone said he's only lost 3 singles matches since he debuted.
In WWE, I believe.
Yeah, WWE. He's only lost.
Braun Breaker.
It's either he's only lost 3 or only lost 3 clean. I think
it's like Braun Breaker, Sammy, and
Dragunov.
Yeah, I think those are the only 3.
Sean, he saves it for big moments because concussions. But I think it's one of those things that's kind of special.
Sean, I could see him at least teasing it against Gunther if he's like if he's hit Gunther with everything he can. No, maybe not. Maybe Gunther kicks out of an RKO where he hits it, and then maybe Orton takes a while to like get over to actually pin him.
Yeah,
I could see a tease. I could see a tease, not the actual hitting it.
No.
But yeah, but also on the flip side of that, shout out to Priest.
Yeah,
for what he's done up until now and for his part on that match because not a lot of people can stand toe to toe with Gunther and make it look like 2 big hosses going back and forth, and he definitely did. So.
Or make it look believable.
Yeah.
And then,
sorry,
my final shout out on this is going to be Triple H. For years, Vince McMahon could not get Roman Reigns over as a face. Triple H kind of showed you how it's done. So It's
Oh, I don't know if I told y'all this. I might have. My mom's has a huge crush on Roman Reigns. So
yeah, you've told us.
yeah. So she was very happy to see the clip of him walking. That's all she cared about was him walking to the ring.
Honestly, that's true for quite a few people.
Yeah. But yeah, he's finally all these years they want to put him over as such a big face. Everyone's cheering.
That
And it finally happened.
before he hit the spear was loud
Yeah.
as hell, bro. That was like, damn.
Cena never got a pop like that when he was polarized as a character, you know. He didn't-
Yeah.
when fans started going back and forth hating him,
now when he
even
was
later on.
polarized, no, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, it just never, But the thing is, what helps it is the story, the way you tell it, the way you work into it. So I think everyone is already expecting war games between the bloodline. So Sokoa's team versus Roman's team. Is The Rock going to be involved? Who knows? And Solo was trying. That's true. It kind of was actually.
He kind of was actually. It's very true.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine the pop we're gonna get when you hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman"?
Yeah, for sure.
So again, I kind of mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Do we see Jimmy and Jay reunite on his side? Is there other
They're probably
cousins to bring in?
Unless they bring in what's his the other.
Well, supposedly Zilla's still out there.
Zilla, yeah.
Hikuleo's still out there.
Yeah.
I could see it for war games, but I think right now Jay's got his eye on Rhea Ripley because she's single again.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I want to see if he starts. Like, I feel maybe next Monday, the Judgment Day jump Priest again, and Liv and Rhea kind of go off, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jay saves him to then be like, "What's up, Rhea?"
Yeah.
And then Priest is like the older brother /
Yeah.
But see, Priest is worse because he actually agrees. Because I remember the press conference the day before.
Yeet. Yeah.
Well, no, there was that segment on Raw when he walked up to Priest and Dom. And
yes, because that was my favorite
cool.
thing ever. Because never mind the fact that they had been feuding literally 2 months before. But in Jay's defense. And I repeat myself, for a hot goth chick, I'll put a whole lot of grudges aside. It's like ooze.
The best part was yeet, wepa.
Yeah.
Wepa,
yeet. They say each other's catchphrase. Yes.
Maybe wepa, yeet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Jason, Sami Zayn, I think, has a chance to be brought into that bloodline storyline.
So
that would come full circle. That would be crazy.
This was my thinking, actually. After this whole Jay needs a title, yeah, I agree. After this whole debacle, I figured Jay and Sammy would help Roman with the bloodline. Then Jay would probably go up. Jay's was still one of my early probable winners for the Royal Rumble this coming year. I could be wrong. They may give it to Punk, which would also make sense for all my criticism of Punk. I know for all my criticism of Punk, I would understand that, but
no,
I think a lot of people would be angry if Punk got it, and as much of a Punk fan as I am, I don't think he should win it this coming year.
That's fair enough, but I'm also thinking like Jay would help them. I feel like Jay would do this as like a one-time deal. He's like, okay, look, I still don't like y'all, but I like Solo less, so I'll help you with this. Then I'm leaving, and Sammy's like, and I brought a friend, and Sammy is there too. But I also feel like because of the whole Judgment Day thing, Jay hitting on Rhea and everything, that Jay and Sammy, for whatever reason, also kind of get involved in the Judgment Day thing, because why not? That is until the White Six decide that them betraying their family, which I saw that as a theory somewhere, and I couldn't have agreed more with it. That someone's going to see them betraying their family as a serious offense, and the White Six are kind of like the unofficial Justice League of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, would be the coolest comic book ever. I would read the crap out of that if they were the Justice League.
No, I still love that meme that you shared or someone shared. It was like, how come I turned on Raw and the Penn State wrestling team was facing off against Slipknot?
And I said, even if that's meant to be a scathing commentary on pro wrestling, that is a genius comment, and I think it's hilarious.
I think it's supposed to be scathing. I think it was a fun meme. Like, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, one more thing. I do need a backstage segment where Dexter, I don't know if he's still Dexter Loomis. I think
he's still Dexter. They go by their names.
Yeah. Runs into Indy or whatever, and he doesn't, or if they're attacking like Gargano and whatever, he won't attack her. But they'll just kind of have that stare down
for sure.
And then Indy carries him away again, anyways.
Yeah.
All right. As far as our pick results, Tommy and I each went 5-2, and Mike went 6-1.
First of all, the fact that Nia beating Bailey prevented me from teasing this pisses me off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, I would have gladly gone 1-6 if the one was Bailey. That pisses me off. With all due respect to Nia Jax, who has been much better since her return, looked better, wrestled better. Bailey, stop turning into Claudio and putting everyone over. Okay, like stop. I need specifically the wrestlers I like to stop being selfless and start wanting titles and wins more. I mean, I know she literally was the champion, but yeah, I need.
That's the greatest sentence I've ever heard. I need wrestlers I like to stop being selfless.
You need to start liking heels a lot more.
Stop putting people over.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you.
We know, Mike.
That's the best comment I've ever heard in my life. I need to stop being selfish. Stop being selfish, you jackass.
Be more heel, goddammit. All right.
Go into business for yourself.
Well, yeah,
Politics the hell out of your career.
And Sean, yeah, that's where I assume it's going because again, I think the end game of that is obviously the Tiffany cash in and her kind of becoming solidified as that main event player. But
after they sell more briefcases,
I was gonna say let's get into our WrestleCast rings and then we'll talk about the fallout and some predictions going forward. Okay. There's James Biscuit.
Thanks, James.
Yeah. WrestleCast rating 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. And if you are watching this, feel free to put your rating in there. I'm gonna kick this off and say 4.75. I really enjoyed this SummerSlam a lot. I think it was a great event. My only knock really is I thought as much as because Braun and Sammy went for a while last time, it went a little quick for me this time, but it was still, at least it wasn't a squash, although it could have very well been at that rate. But it was a great show. It really was. I'll be honest with you, it's putting SummerSlam on par with WrestleMania as an event. It's getting to that point.
Which it should be, anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, in a couple of years, it's going to be 2 nights anyway. So, but yeah, I got 4.75 on this one.
Hold on. Sean in here with his grade.
4 because
that's good.
Give it time. I don't think we're going to see Joe Hendry until Royal Rumble, but that's, so.
Hold on,
exactly. Yep.
Hey, in the chat.
Hey, Jacob, what's up,
Jacob
man?
Tula, you don't need Don Fernando. Ditch his ass, bro.
No. Yeah. Definitely get rid of Don Fernando. How dare you? Get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay, so 4.75 for me. Tommy, what about you? What's your rating for this?
I'm gonna go 4.5. I was thoroughly impressed with how well they pulled this one off. As I say all the time, as one of the most critical people of WWE, I'll definitely give them their props when their props are due. This was really, really impressive of a show. And they pulled off it was one of the cases where it was one of the even with the heel turns that we suspected were probably gonna happen, they still did them in a way that was entertaining. It's like oh, Finn turned on and Dom turned on. We all saw that coming, but it was still fun. That's my thing. If it's fun, I don't care. Let it be predictable as all hell. That's why I saw one comment was like, oh, so predictable. I was like, yeah, but was it fun though? A lot of pro wrestling is predictable. Is it fun? A lot of match endings you could tell who's going to win the match. Was the match fun? If it was, who gives a damn?
It's like when we talked a couple years ago about the Hangman Omega story. Everything's set up. Just run it across the goal line.
Well, here's an even more retro example that I think we can all agree with. There was very little chance in any of those WrestleMania matches Stone Cold wasn't beating The Rock. Very little chance.
But he didn't win all 3, right?
Those are going 50-50,
Yeah, so. but that the last one wasn't titled, and that was when Austin's last match anyway. But I'm talking about the title matches specifically. There was very little chance Austin wasn't going to win, but the matches were fire. So who cares? So I'm just like as long as it's
Cena on The Rock.
Yeah. Mike, what's
your rating? I was going to see who was the laugh first. I'm sorry. Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to hold it together.
I'll probably go with the 4.75 too. Same, it's. This is a weird. I don't even know if it's a complaint. They're gonna have to keep this level for all their big fours, though, right?
Yeah, they have to.
Like
really
Survivor
Series, you must say
Royal
big 5.
Rumble.
You can count Money in the Bank,
right? Maybe Money in the Bank too.
Yeah.
At least with Money in the Bank, you always have that chance of like the new person getting the ladder match hype. But yeah, like they're doing good. It was entertaining. Like it was fun for the most part. Like, well, actually, maybe I should do a 2.75 because Bailey lost. No,
I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
yeah, 4.75. I'll just pretend there was 6 matches and not 7.
All right.
That means you got. That means you tested it.
I mean,
Oh, the fair, yeah.
you dropped the lowest test grade, right?
There you go. That's right.
Yeah. See. So overall rating for SummerSlam 4.67. Not too shabby there, WWE. Yeah. So, all right. As mentioned, okay, the fallout from this. Where do we go from here? We know Bash at the Berlin is coming up at the end of this month. Bernsey 4.7 for him too.
Nice.
What we know for sure is Randy Orton versus Gunther. If Orton wins, they're switching shows because Orton will be the champion. So that's the only stipulation we know as of right now. The fallout of this, we know that the Judgment Day is Finn, JD, Carlito, Dominic, and Liv Morgan is the new Judgment Day. So all the Judgment Day OGs are gone, if you guys can think about that. So, yeah. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are kind of a de facto mixed tag team. What were they calling them?
The Terror Twins.
Terror Twins.
That was like a nickname they had for themselves just backstage, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Because what was it? There was one time where I think Rhea had like lost her gear bag or something, and she had to wear a pair of Priest like long pants,
which almost makes too much sense.
Yeah. But yeah.
But into what was being talked about here, the Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax dynamic. Where do we go from here? Could go one of two ways. We could see Bayley come back maybe a couple months down the road, beat Nia Jax, and Tiffany immediately cashes in, gets it somehow. Maybe Nia. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's set in that. I know, Mike. I saw your face, but it's typical how they would do something like this, especially if Tiffany.
Old typical or new typical? You got to keep that in mind, though.
Could be new typical if Nia destroys Bayley after the match. Maybe it's like a roll-up pin or something. You know.
Just have her beat Nia. Why does Bayley have to come by to get in the win and get beat up again?
And that's the thing, though. If Tiffany cashes in,
because she's selfless. See why?
Yeah.
Stop being selfless, people. Be selfish.
If she cashes in on Nia, it's heel cashing in on heel. But like, are people going to cheer Tiffany or boo Tiffany? Like, So I mean, we know how people, for the most part, respond to Nia Jax as it is. So yeah. I don't foresee Tiffany cashing in before the end of the year. They want to sell a lot of these briefcases. To be honest with you, I may see that Royal Rumble at the earliest.
Okay, look, I'm not getting any more Mission Pro after this month. I don't want Nia to still be the champion the next time Mission Pro is running a show. I'm just going to say that straight out. So please don't do that to me.
So this is one of those, we got this before Grand Theft Auto 6 kind of things. Like, what are we going to get before Mission Pro comes back?
Exactly. Before George R. R. Martin finishes the 6th book.
He commented on something about House of the Dragon, and Stephen Colbert said, "Hey, he said, yeah, Martin. Hey, George, that's a good idea. You know how you could distract yourself from that? Finishing Winds of Winter."
the gap between I think it was Dance of Dragons was book 5 and Winds of Winter is like twice as long as the Confederacy lasted. Okay, so let's get going here and get this thing.
Wow. Longer than most things, then. Yeah.
So, to be fair, the Confederacy was didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, 4 years. Most of them anyway. Let's see. What do we miss? Oh, the Bloodline. Obviously, that's a big one. We're gonna wait to see what happens on SmackDown, how they're gonna set that up. I think it's pretty obvious this is going to lead to War Games. We've said that already. What the teams are, we'll figure out. Beyond some other things, Sean's predicting three-way for Punk versus Drew versus Rollins. When, Sean, at Bash at Berlin, or is that going to be somewhere down the line like a Survivor Series? When do you think that match will happen? That's my question for you, Sean, on that one. So,
I think immediately. I think Bash at Berlin is the next one, right?
That's the next one on the 31st. Yeah, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I think that's going to be Punk and Rollins first, in my opinion. But Drew could get involved.
I don't know, because Rollins has this deal. Whatever happened with Bronson Reed all of a sudden.
Oh, that's right.
That's true. Point. Yeah, we got Bronson Reed coming in. So
looked like something Jacob Toa could do to Dodd Fernando. Oh,
I mean, I ain't saying you're wrong.
Somewhere down the line, he says, "Okay, I could see that." Gunther going to hold on to that till WrestleMania.
Maybe WrestleMania 2026. The way
I know.
I was going to say,
the way they give him title reigns.
I've ventured to say
that MFR had that IC title in a stranglehold. I was like, God, dog, brother.
I was about to say, barring any like crazy cash in by next Money in the Bank, he's going to hold on to it for more than a year. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Over Femi, maybe.
Oh boy!
Ooh,
that's a hot.
Boba Femi, that would be.
I mean, can you see Femi coming in as like the night after WrestleMania debuting kind of thing? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
I want. You know who I want to do it?
Or maybe not the Rumble. Well, good.
You know who I want to do it? I can't even lie. Dragunov. That's why I would like to see beat him.
I would love to see it, but he hasn't gone as well since he got called up. I don't know if that's a main
roster beat him. Like NXT, it was kind of cool. NXT UK, I don't know if main roster Dragunov. They'd really have to build him up for a while because
I forget what match he had on the main roster recently. That looked like NXT Dragunov to me. So that's
I
why
know,
I say
but
that.
The main roster, the main roster fans don't know about NXT Dragunov, and I'm sorry, but like
I'm not saying beat him right away. I mean,
I know, but that's what I mean. On main roster, he's not anything at the moment. So they would have to build him up for a while, which we think is going to hold for a while. Do y'all think San Antonio will be good to host? Yes. I mean,
I would love it. Obviously, we don't know where SummerSlam is next year. We know 2026 is in Minneapolis. We know 2027 is in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But they haven't made the announcement for next year. It sounds to me like they're trying to do WrestleMania and SummerSlam at like the modern, big, huge football stadiums outdoor if possible. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to see it in the Alamo Dome. Obviously, we get Royal Rumbles more than we.
We do.
Personally, give me Survivor Series. I want to see a War Games match live.
I only had it once. 94. And I was there. I think Jason said he was there, and Tommy, you said you were there. No,
94.
That was 90. Was it 94? I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I was just a kid.
Okay, you were. Yeah.
Honestly, like I've been to Royal Rumbles. I've been to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, 94. I was there.
You know, you guys have been to Survivor Series. I've never been to Survivor Series. I would love to see War Games live in my hometown, and I would also love to see a Money in the Bank live in my hometown. Those are the two I would really love to come.
And just on a side note for San Antonio, if we eventually get this new Spurs downtown arena, maybe not for a Mania or like the Big Four, but I think we might get more of the second level PL pay-per-view, PLEs, whatever.
Yeah,
and that's a decent sized place. So.
Or like an NXT type pay-per-view or something like that too.
Nah, I mean stick main roster. Come on.
I mean we're good NXT town too as it is. I mean, why not?
But I mean, we've had takeovers here. I was at the one where
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Roode won the title. I think was that it?
I don't know. That was the one where Rollins jumped.
Yeah, if that's the same one, then that's the same one I'm thinking about.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see where this goes from here. SummerSlam was earlier than usual, but it kind of worked out. You know, yeah, it was really weird. But I mean, they have some European stuff planned, and obviously, this wrestling is going to be kind of hitting in Europe. Then All In's going to be the week before with AEW. WWE is going to be in Germany the week after. So, you know, having SummerSlam early is crazy, but then again, they're trying to beat football season, I guess, because preseason's coming around the corner as well. So, but we'll see where they go from here beyond that. It's weird because WrestleMania is moving later in the calendar and SummerSlam is moving up. So, it's kind of crazy how that happens. So, all right. Well, with all that, let's get into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, sir, go for it.
All right. So once again, I want to throw out a huge thank you to River City Wrestling and Hybrid School of Wrestling. If you follow my socials and RCW socials, you'll see that this past weekend at the high school I'm a teacher at, they came for a back to school bash, which was kind of an event to help middle school and elementary school kids that feed into that high school and kind of get them set up, get them backpacks and supplies, and There was also some stuff from the food bank. So kind of main wrestlers we had show up was Alex Arsenal, King Rob Love, Jesse James was also there, Eric Walker, Jay Young, Celine Hysteria, and then as well as the announcers, Eliana and Carolina Teague showed up at different times. Alex Arsenal was a huge hit. He was there early and there for a good part of it. If you go follow his socials on Facebook or River City Wrestling's, you'll see videos of his interactions with parents, with kids. They found a student who wants to be a wrestler. So Eliana did an introduction of Alex versus him, which was really funny. And then shout out to all the there's hybrid students that showed up that I didn't know they were hybrid students, but they were helping distribute food from the food bank, and they got right to work. There was no complaining. All the administration loved them. All the people had nothing but good things to say to them. So Brandon and family, thank y'all for that. And then also Chris Marvel, Coach Marvel. If we don't say this enough, you are doing, I'm going to use my one F-bomb for the show, a fucking amazing job teaching these students. They are the most respectful. They have such a vibe and a community feeling with each other. They all get along. It's kind of funny because you let wrestlers stand there with any break and they start doing wrestling stuff just in kind of a practice. And the teacher in me was like, don't get too into it. Like we got to be careful. We're out of school. But just like sitting there and then they start doing stuff like they're in a match. But the minute things were going, like Tommy know who this is, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying her name. Katie Troublefield, who was a student in training there, who was always working at the shows. She was here at the thing and kind of took charge herself. Was like going outside because we had all the stuff kind of inside and then right by a door where the cars could drive by and they would take out the food. First of all, students out in the sun for a long period of time. And she kind of took control and was like helping them get set up, talking to parents, talking to faculty. There was like one student who was bilingual, so we had to grab her several times because the rest of us not so bilingual. But yeah, shout out to Hybrid, to RCW, to Brandon and his family. It was really cool. Everyone loved them, and there's traction of talks of like, hey, maybe we can do a pep rally / event with wrestlers here, and I'm like, I'm in, 100%.
Sounds awesome.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Next year's convocation, Mike, or maybe they can do it this year. Yeah. So, Tommy, you got something this week?
Yeah, I do.
All right, are you ready, sir? Go for it.
Half sentimental, half joking. I'll do the sentimental half first. With all this stuff with Mission Pro and Branded Outlaw, I legit understand how tough it is to run these shows and everything, and so I'm not at all knocking either promotion for either taking time off or sadly in the case of BOW maybe stopping things altogether. It's not easy, it's tough, but thanks for everything, and I really hope somewhere down the line things can start back up again, for both especially Mission Pro. Always a good time. Branded Outlaw, always a good time. It's a pleasure to do things there and get to know everyone behind the curtain. That's a really cool thing. But if this is all we're getting of Mission Pro for the rest of the year, we talked about you, Marvel. We're being nice. So we're counting on you to book La Rosa Negra for our hybrid experience show. I'm counting on you, Marvel. And also, I brought this up, and I'm actually thinking about putting something together. Next year will be my 10-year indie wrestling 20-year indie wrestling anniversary. Dude, can you stop? Let me finish. 20-year indie wrestling anniversary, and there's one thing I want. One thing. It'll be 20 years in October next year. I want a rematch between Don Juan and Amazing Red.
Oh man!
And I'm putting it out there right now. I know Red's he runs HOG. And he's semi-retired, but I'm actually have some ideas to beg Amazing Red for just one more trip to San Antonio and one more match, just one more. Okay, I'm good.
That's fair.
Give me the treats against the machine guns. That's one I've always wanted to see.
Oh man, me too. Like seriously.
Yeah. So
Marvel, there's a few other names, but I'll DM you. I don't want to like throw them out.
for sure. All right. For my 1 minute warning, I'm going to share a proud dad moment for me. And yes, I talk about my kids and their youth sports, and this moment happened for me at my son's baseball practice this past Friday. But it involves wrestling because in the middle of practice, they had a little water break. They're all sitting in the dugout drinking water. And then my son starts the debate, who's the better wrestler among all his teammates. They're going back and forth, whether it's The Rock, whether it's John Cena, whether it's Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. And they're saying, this person or that person. One yells out, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. And these people are like, Roman Reigns. And my son stands up and says, no, Cody beat Roman at WrestleMania. He's the champion. And it was so awesome to watch, taking me back to when we were kids saying this stuff, debating this thing. These are like 7 and 8 year olds. But I ended the conversation by saying this. All right, boys, let me ask you, Dominic Mysterio or Solo Sikoa? They all said Dominic Mysterio. So congrats, Solo Sikoa. You're hated more than Dominic Mysterio.
It's because those kids all want Dominic's life. So I don't blame them.
Although this was before SummerSlam, we'll see how that happens afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
real quick, I forgot to mention this because I'm wearing the shirt. I meant to bring it up. The top leaders of Block A and Block B of the G1 Climax are Zack Sabre Jr. and Jeff Cobb.
Oh boy!
They do this to me. No, they do this to me every year. Someone post up the hot guy from Endgame meme. Don't give me hope. No.
Hold on. What is it called? New Japan Cup or something like? What is it?
G1 Climax.
G1 Climax.
G1 Climax. Let me see the current standings right here. Hang on.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom.
Yeah. They Cobb has 2 matches left, and Sabre has 2 matches left. Yeah, so we're getting close to the finals. The finals are going to be on the 18th.
Oh boy. Okay.
Add his name to the list of Claudio and Bailey, who's probably going to put someone over in the final match.
Okay, first of all, Cobb has a 2-point lead. Oh my God, over like 5 wrestlers.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the tiebreaker on Goto. He hasn't wrestled Tsuji yet.
Nope.
He hasn't wrestled Finlay yet.
Nope.
And then he does not have the tiebreaker on Narita. And he doesn't have the tiebreaker on Takeshita.
Yeah. Takeshi's been on a tear. I'm surprised he's only at 8. But
okay. So Cobb's got to win out to guarantee it. Sabre Jr. is actually tied with Evil.
Yeah.
But Sabre has the tiebreaker.
But he beat Evil. That's what's getting.
Okay, so he's got the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
He still has to wrestle Gabe Kidd and Sonata.
And I hope he beats Gabe, because Gabe Kidd's my favorite guy to hate right now. I want someone to shut him up so bad.
Why the fuck is Toriano not in this shit? What the hell's going on? God damn it.
He's worried about
his DVD sales.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the King of Wrestling, what's the one that you're always saying he has to be at the end of the year?
Oh, the King
of Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, King of Pro Wrestling.
That's all that matters. Yep, sure.
He's just strategically waiting for that. So.
If they want this climax to like draw people and get more subscriptions to New Japan World, you book Jeff Cobb versus Toriano as the finals of the G1 Climax. Just saying. That's got match of the year written all over it. All right, so.
Oh,
Mike, I'm rooting for you, dude. I want it to happen.
Yeah, but you want Toriano to win in the final, so no, you're not.
Well, this year he's not in it, so
he's not in it.
I want Jeff Cobb
in
to
that
win
match. This year, okay.
Yeah, for sure. So
in your hypothetical match, though.
Yeah, my hypothetical. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, Jesus.
Like a lot of people. Hey, Ruby Soho just announced that they're going to have a girl.
Hey, nice.
They just posted it. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this week's episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast, our SummerSlam recap. If you're watching this after our live stream, please feel free to share your thoughts, share your WrestleCast rating. What did somebody say?
Jason's gone.
That match is not going to last long. Well,
Talking about Toriano and Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, that's the thing. They could have a match of the year in 5 minutes. You know, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, eat your fucking heart out. Next week we will preview MPW Midsummer Blast, which is the last MPW event as of right now for the end of the year. Maybe they have a pop-up show here and there. Who knows? But
I gotta win the lottery.
Yeah, so we'll talk all about it. We'll lay out what want you to be a part of it. Let us know what your predictions are. If anybody from MPW wants to come on the show live, I don't care. Let's get them all in here. Let's talk. Let's see what you got ready to go for this one. You know, this is going to be been promoted heavily for the last 2 months, and I'm really interested to see how this goes. So, yeah. And on top of that, we're also 2 weeks away from our 300th episode / 6-year anniversary episode as well. So,
Wow.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So, thank you everybody for joining us. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
For the sky, boy. Bang.
See you next week.
Adios, compa.